My name is Benjamin Jude. I'm 26 years old. I'm currently living in St. Louis, Missouri. It was just sort of, I don't know, I remember I was at this retreat when I was in high school. I was a freshman, and in one of the rooms in free time there were some music videos and live videos that were just on loop, and I remember seeing a video of this artist, the David Crowder Band, and they were playing and just like very energetic, and people were very, you know, sort of engaged by that, and just, you know, the stage presence, watching the crowd respond to that, it was just very inspiring to me. Helio started actually originally when I was still in high school, not in its current or ultimate form, I suppose. It really started with a friend of mine, Justin, and we were just playing guitar and writing songs about whatever was in front of us. Sometimes that was our faith, sometimes that was, actually a lot of the time that was our crappy high school relationships. Helio is, you know, alternative rock is such a, like an overdone genre. It doesn't really mean anything anymore, but I mean, and it's even tough. One of my buddies I used to play with a lot in Minnesota, Michael Shines, he'll comment sometimes whenever I'll send him a new track. He'll say, like, you know, every time you send me something, it's completely different. Like, I don't, you know. So in many respects, I try to keep people on their toes.
My name is Brooke Patton. I'm 19 years old.
Helio is, so it's a Greek word. It is related to the word sun. Helios is the Greek word for sun, and it was actually something that it came out of a mythology class that a couple of us were taking, and it was just, there's this story of one person flying in a chariot, and they get too close to the sun, and it burns up, and it's just a really cool image, and that was kind of what got in my head at first.
Good. I can relate to that a lot. A lot of the lyrics kind of hit home with some things. The verse where it's like, she knows there's an awful lot of ugly in this world, and then the other part it says there's an awful lot of beauty in this world. I kind of connect to that because I see both sides of it. There's ugly and beauty everywhere.
Yeah, so To Write Love on Our Arms kind of came out of, I mean, there's personal experience, and there's just sort of being inspired by that organization and all it does to raise awareness for something that people frankly don't like to talk about a lot. And I fix my eyes on you.
This one's a little bit more uplifting, definitely. And I really like the beat behind it because it's not like a slow, like churchy kind of song. It's got like a beat, rhythm to it. I like the song because even though like I don't believe in like a god or anything like that, I mean I do believe it, you know what I mean? It still is a way that I can think of redirecting my thoughts into a positive light if I fix my eyes on him.
Worship is, kind of like, I guess, Snow Patrol meets like Rich Mullins. Kind of, I guess, atmospheric. It's a thing where I actually have to sit down and kind of fight through things, you know, rhymes and metaphors and all that. To Write Love on Our Arms, I was just playing piano and sort of
came out,
spewed out, you know. So my first solo project, the worship album, is the Light EP, and that just came out in September. That's just under the name Benjamin Jude. We got a full-length album coming out probably next June. That's the goal. After that, I'm turning back to Helio with another, hopefully, full-length album, hopefully with a very different style.
I would love to, guys, and thanks for the time. I met Brooke at a Fight Heart event several months back, and she won my heart. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know a ton about Brooke's story, but what she unfolded to me in the couple of minutes that we spoke and the craziness of a live event, she said, you know, Katie, I've got this story and I want to find platforms to get it out. I want to reach teens. I want to reach whoever I can. because this is now my life, and I want to prevent others from being me.
July 25th, 2014, I shot myself in the chest with a .22 revolver.
So for you, did you feel like you had exhausted every other option and you were just out of ideas?
It was my 13th time
13th
attempting.
attempt.
Yes. And usually before I just went with the simple attempted drug overdose.
Yeah.
And that never did anything for me.
Physical.
Mm.
But why did you choose that gun and why did you choose to shoot yourself in the chest?
I didn't pick, well, I guess you could say I picked a certain gun. I went up earlier on Monday that week and was looking all around because my dad's a big deer hunter, so I know he has the ammo and the guns and everything.
Yeah.
But my first go-to was a shotgun, and the reason I didn't use that is because I couldn't figure out how to position it to hold it.
Wow. Just literally hold it up to your chest and pull the trigger?
I held it out away from me.
Okay.
And I think that's why it went down, because it should have paralyzed me higher. But
Yeah.
I'm only paralyzed from the waist down.
Okay.
And I guess since it cocked down,
Yeah.
it went
And,
just
and,
downward.
and so talk me through, you pull the trigger, it goes bang, and you feel what?
It's like a movie. It was like slow motion. You know how in the movies, whenever it's like quiet and you just hear that one little gasp of air, and that's exactly what it was like.
Did you know instantly you were paralyzed?
Yes, instantly.
And was anyone around to yell for help?
No, I left my phone on silent on my parents' bed. I was in my parents' room upstairs in front of a mirror. And I left my phone on my bed, flipped over upside down, turned off, completely silent. And when I fell, after I did it, I hit the bed, and it just so happened to knock my phone off next to me.
Yeah.
And I look over, and my ex-boyfriend's calling me, and I wasn't going to answer. And then I did, and I was like, I need you to come help me. I didn't want to tell him what I did,
Yeah.
because I didn't want it to be the situation where I was still alive. I just wanted it to be done instantly.
Yeah.
Like, if I could go back and just take 3 more seconds maybe to think about what I was doing, or just take a second to sit down, really, and think about what I was doing, because I was so built up with emotions, with breaking up with the ex-boyfriend and everything. It was just a bunch of different things happening at once. I just needed a clear mindset, and that day I didn't have one at all.
So did you leave a note for anyone?
Nope.
And why not?
I guess at the time I didn't really know what I wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't really... It was so spontaneous almost, actually. Like, I had the idea and I had the plan and I knew how I was going to do it,
Yeah.
but I never knew when it was going to happen.
Why do you think it was that you were just that so very sad that life it was better not to be alive than to be alive?
At the time, sadness was the only emotion that I'd known for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
Sadness, anger, the feeling of being alone. I felt alone, even though I wasn't alone.
Yeah.
I never really felt like I had someone there with me, but I know right now I could call hundreds of people that would be there. But at the time, night.
Right.
And then ended up in the next day, me waking up, he left, my dad left, asked if I wanted to go to the races with him, and I was like, no, I think I'll just stay home tonight.
Right.
And then about an hour after he left, it was my death march up the stairs to his room where I found the revolver. And honestly, I wasn't even really sure if it would work, because it's an older gun. You can tell by looking at it, it was an older gun. So I opened the chamber, it looked full, closed it, and I actually shot it over my parents' bed, and it went off, but if you ask my mom, there's not a single hole to be found.
So you didn't blame your parents?
No.
It wasn't like you
I don't
shot
blame
yourself?
anybody but myself, because no one else was there that day to point the gun at me and
Yeah.
pull the trigger.
And
That was
even-
me.
even
That
at
was
the
all
moment.
me.
So that's not after healing though. Like even when you were there with the gun pointed, you weren't thinking, screw this person, screw that person.
I was thinking
all
more, yeah, I was like, this is my fault. My life is the way it is because of my
Wow.
choices.
It's an amazing amount of self-awareness and responsibility to have and yet pull the trigger. I would think most...
I think that's kind of almost what made it easier, was that I had all of these things happen, and I always have put the blame on myself.
Yeah.
So I looked at it as,
How much did you think about, someone's going to find me?
honestly, at first I didn't think about it, but another crazy fact about that day is that my dad's friends, 2 of his friends were outside right as it happened. And they didn't hear a gunshot, but right after I texted my dad and told him what I did,
Yeah,
he called them and they ran inside. And
they were there.
because I don't remember looking at you and saying that, but I remember my mom coming up to me and saying, "Baby, what did you do?" And I said, "Mom, I just wanted the pain to stop."
Yeah.
Everybody's going to go out and do whatever they call fun, whether it's drugs, whether it's just sitting at home playing video games, because I've done plenty of that too. Everything's going to be okay. I promise you that everything going on in your life right now, whether it's a breakup, arguing with your parents, or anything deeper that you have experienced personally through your life, it's going to be okay. Just give yourself a couple more days, give yourself a couple more minutes even. If I could go back, the one thing I would do is wait just 30 seconds. I would call someone, I would do something. If you ever feel like hurting yourself, or if you want someone to talk to, don't feel scared of your emotions, because I promise you, even when it feels like no one else wants you here, there's hundreds of people that need you here. This happening to me has really opened my eyes to accept everybody and their flaws.